Okay, this is going to be some general sewing instructions. What you see here is the upper tensioning knob, and it has a series of numbers on it from 1 to 0. And the thread goes in a groove. Maybe you can see that groove there. And you tighten the knob down to set the tension for the thread. And this keeps the tension on the thread so that the stitch is equally pulled on the material on the top and bottom of the material when you make the seam. And that's very important to get correct, and it took me a while to get onto that. I looked at some YouTube videos, etc., and was finally able to figure out how to do it after listening to several of the guys and girls on YouTube explain what was a correct seam, and I eventually found a manual that I was able to print off, and it helped me a lot too. So if you get a sewing machine, then that's one of the things that you're going to have to learn to play with on some sample material, is how to set your tension. This is my machine. It's an old Morse machine. I started off with an old Sears and Roebuck machine. Got it for $25 off of eBay, and then was able to find this more industrial model off of Craigslist for $75, and it's turned out to be a godsend because it really does a good job of sewing. So once you get your machine threaded, then you have to place the bobbin. The bobbin is down here. You can see the bobbin mechanism right here. And I'm going to stop it right now so I can get the bobbin out and kind of explain to you how that works. Okay, hopefully you can see this. On the bobbin there's a little lever, and to get the bobbin out, you flip the lever open, and then the bobbin just slides out. And the bobbin contains basically like a little spool with a thread wound around it. Here you can see the bobbin carrier, which is a little mechanism that holds the spool. And here's the spool with the thread wound around it. And that is the thread that pulls the bottom stitch up. And so with the thread on the top and the thread on the bottom is what gives you the ability to get the seam.
Each sewing machine has a bobbin winder built into the machine, and so your machine, you'll just have to find where that bobbin winder is, and basically you disengage the main drive unit by unscrewing the knob on the drive wheel of the sewing machine, and then threading the thread down through a tensioning mechanism on the machine and up into the bobbin, and then starting the machine, and it will automatically wind the bobbin and wind the thread onto the bobbin. And by having multiple spools, bobbin spools, you can have these ready to go so that when the bobbin runs out of thread, you can very quickly replace the spool and get back into operation.
Okay, hopefully you can see the little screw here on the side of the bobbin carrier, or housing, or case, whatever you're going to call it. That little screw is for the tension for the bobbin for the bottom thread of your stitch. And by adjusting that tension of the thread for the bobbin, it makes your stitch it goes along in conjunction with this tension on the top thread. So it's important to adjust that as well, and to do that you tighten it or loosen that, and what I have been able to discover on that is once you get your thread inserted on the spool inside the carrier and threaded in there properly, that if you kind of use it like a yo-yo, it should release the thread for about 1.5 inch drop, and if it does that, then the tension is adjusted properly. Now that we have the thread on the bobbin and the bobbin reinserted into the machine, I'm now going to show you how to pick up that bobbin thread and bring it up through the machine. You make sure that your thread is out of the throat of the machine. You hold on to the thread that's been threaded through the needle, and you spin the machine's wheel towards you until the needle plunges into the machine, and you'll see it loop around the bobbin. Hopefully you can see that. There's the loop, and then you just pull it up and through, and now you've got the thread, and you can close the throat, and the machine is now ready to sew. So that's just some basic instructions on how to thread the machine, how to put the bobbin in, how to adjust your tension and stuff. And all of this stuff, I'm just telling you stuff that I learned by looking at YouTube videos and talking to my sister, who is a master seamstress, and then just practice on base material until I figured out how to get it done right. So hopefully that'll help you guys, and next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to sew the piping onto the base of the seat that I built the base of the seat quite a while ago back in the summer. So I'm going to get it out and put the piping on that, and I'll kind of show you how I did that. Thanks. Okay, here you can see my skirting. It's 5 inches wide and 13.5 feet long, which means it will there'll be enough there to go all the way around the seat base. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it and put the finished side down and line it up with the outer edge of the material, rest of the vinyl upholstery, and then I will sew right along the inside edge of the piping, so that when it's finished, I'll have a finished skirting to go over the thickness of the cushion. So that's pretty much all there is to it, and so I'll get that done, and then I'll come back and show you how to finish up the final seam where it meets after you've come all the way around.